Hey everyone, this is Steve from GamersNexus.net, and I have a very tiny computer. This is a computer. This is my phone. The computer is actually slightly smaller than my phone, other than width, obviously. So this we have previewed already. It is Zotac's new Pico, and it's a basically a TV-mounted computer. So it is a fully functional device. It has Windows 8.1 pre-installed on it. The CPU, just running you through the specs really quickly, is an Intel Bay Trail Atom CPU, and it operates at 1.33 gigahertz. It has a 0.37 volt V-core. That is really low. If you're not think of the Ivy Bridge series CPUs. Those were about 1.3 volts if you're overclocking a bit. This is 0.37, and the TDP is appropriately low. It is 2 watts for the CPU, I believe, and the entire device, not so sure. Check the link in the description below for the full review where I will detail that, but it is 2 watts for the CPU. That is insanely low. So Intel stuff, we already know it's good from a TDP standpoint. What about this computer as a product? Now, this is Zotac's $200 solution, and what they say you should use it for if you're a buyer is things like home office work, Word documents, school, stuff like that. Game streaming, entertainment media streaming like videos and music. Basically anything where you mount this to your VISA compatible display, which is most TVs and monitors these days. It has a special plastic mount. You connect it to the back of the display, and then it basically talks via HDMI to that TV or monitor, and you just use it normally like you would with any other computer. It's sort of an HTPC, just less powerful, and only has 17 gigabytes of user accessible storage. So what that means is if you want to do anything with media, you're going to need to stream it from somewhere else. You're not going to fit a lot on this. 17 gigabytes is not a lot of room. And if you want to play games, you got to stream it from somewhere else using Steam's in-home streaming, which is appropriately timed because that is somewhat functional now, or NVIDIA's Game Stream, which has a bit more limited game list in terms of compatibility, but it's a possibility. So you can do some game streaming, but not the best experience in the world, especially given that most of our ISPs give us such amazing down and up rates, even internally. So, of course, I am very grateful that my ISP is even allowing me to upload this video to the internet right now. I am glad I am giving them money for that privilege. But sarcasm aside, that clearly was not sarcasm. This is a $200 box. Why would you get it, right? Because you can spend $400-ish on something that is comparatively going to blow this out of the water. And yeah, it'll be bigger. No, you probably can't fit it in your pocket. But I'm not the right user, I guess, because I don't see myself wanting to put this in my pocket and travel with it. And besides, you would then need to put the power supply, which is an AC drop in your pocket, and an HDMI cable, and a keyboard and mouse. So it kind of loses some of the portability once you consider those things. And at that point, why not just build a more complete box, or go with even Zotac's own EN760, which I gave a pretty good review to. It's a good unit. It's about $500 to get it all set up and going, maybe a little more, but you get a computer that can play games on its own and host media locally and stuff like that. Now this, I don't want to knock it too hard. In terms of performance, the Pico, actually, the PI320 it is fully called, the Pico does okay. The idle CPU temperature is something like 42 Celsius. Before calculating for ambient, that would be that would be right around 21 Celsius after I subtract ambient. Is that impressive math? I hope it's impressive. And then if you look at the load temperatures, it's about 52 at worst with Prime 95 on large FFTs. That is 100% CPU load on this tiny atom. And calculating for ambient, that's going to be somewhere just above, it'll be like 27 or 28 Celsius. So really not that warm. It's pretty impressive for the tiny box this is in, but that's all on Intel's engineering side more so than anyone else. So in terms of usability, it works fine. I made a realistic use case scenario where I effectively did game streaming grid from another computer. I played music, I played a movie, and I played a YouTube video. I did all those things simultaneously. CPU was sitting at about 60 to 70% load, depending on how badly the game and movie were beating up the processor at any given time, and the processor does turbo boost pretty frequently, so it does handle load quite well. And I didn't really notice any stuttering with video playback. I didn't notice any stuttering too much with typing. It stutters a little bit, lags less than a fraction of a second behind you when typing if you're doing a ton of things at once, but not too bad, and if you're a reasonable user, you probably won't hit that threshold anyway. In terms of the memory, you've only got 1.7 gigabytes of user-accessible RAM to work with. That is not a whole lot. If you are a tab-heavy user, if you love tabs, you're going to have to cut back. I'm sorry, it is a weight loss program for your web browser, because at that capacity, you're just not going to have the room for it. But again, reasonable amount of tabs, quick sort of set-top box-like web browsing, and you'll be fine. So all in all, as a computer, this performs well. I was very impressed with the Bay Trail performance, along with the RAM, along with the flash memory, the storage, the permanent non-volatile storage was actually pretty slow. I was not too happy with that, but the CPU, the RAM, they did fine. So as a computer, I can respect that. I think this performs very well. As a product for $200, I start having trouble recommending it, because you can spend a bit more and get a very powerful self-contained gaming HTPC. Maybe you don't want that. Well, in that case, this is probably fine. But here's where I start questioning it more. For under $100, you can get a Chromebox or a Chrome stick, and you can stream all of your media, all of your games, all of your music from a host system or a server or the internet if you use that thing. It's new, and you can stream all of that, and it's just acting as a pass-through to the server, what is effectively the host or the server, even if it is your own computer in your room next door. This is basically doing that if you're trying to game on it, so there's no point buying it to game on, because you can buy something less than $100 and just use it as a pass-through. Media, if you're just watching movies, listening to music, same thing. You can buy less than $100 Chrome stick, Chromebox. Doesn't have to be Chrome. It can just be something. Android is the most affordable though, and use it as a pass-through. The only reason you want or need this is when you want Windows 8.1 on it, or Windows in general. This has Windows 8.1 preloaded, and when you want it to act as a fully functional, somewhat stable computer that you can do multiple things simultaneously with. Chrome stick, you're basically just browsing, or maybe typing a Word document. That's about it. That is the end of your user experience. This can do a lot more than that. It can browse, play music, play videos, and type all at once without really suffering at all. So that is the line you draw in the sand. It is up to you, viewers, to decide if this is something you would actually want or need. I'm not the right audience. I would probably buy either a Chrome stick and use it as a pass-through to my gaming PC, or even Zotac's own EN760, which again I gave a good review to, and just use it as an HTPC. It's still pretty small. It will not fit in your pocket, but it's still small. So that is the Pico. Please check the links in the description below for the full review if you need more information. And always feel free to ask questions. Please comment and subscribe. Definitely subscribe. Helps us a lot. And I will see you all next time. Peace.